What's going on, my fellow Remnant 2 gamers? Welcome back to the channel. It's D Werewolf Gamer here, back with another Remnant 2 video. Alright guys, I hope everybody's doing well and staying safe and enjoying this weekend. Alright, so today guys, I want to bring you an amazing build that I really enjoy using. I haven't used the Star Killer long gun in a while, so I decided, just make a build using that and also using the Star Shot as well. Both of these guns are amazing guys, so of course, I wanted to focus on the mods using these two particular guns. So this build is based on an explosive based build, to dish out as much damage as possible. Now some of these bosses guys, as you see in the gameplay, can be kind of aggravating. I usually have to rely more on the Star Shot because with that Star Killer, that little explosion takes time, and a lot of the bosses just run right through it, so you can't always get that damage in using the Star Killer. Overall though, when it does hit guys, it does amazing damage. But as you've seen in the gameplay, the Ravager, he basically was just running through it majority of the time. I couldn't get a lot of hits on him. That's why it took a lot longer to kill this boss using it, because he's not one of those stationary bosses. And as you see guys in the video, this guy, he just keeps running right up to me, so I don't really have time to really get it off. And when I do, he basically just runs right through it. So on this fight here, I had to rely heavily on the Star Shot to do the most damage. With that being said, this is a very fun build. I recommend anybody who hasn't tried these two particular guns to definitely give it a try, guys. Overall explosive builds are pretty fun on certain bosses. You can kill them pretty quickly. With that being said, guys, I want to give a big thank you for everyone who continues to support me on the channel and those who always have something positive to say. And anytime I'm going over these builds, guys, and I forget or leave something out, or if you see something that you feel may work better, always feel free to leave a comment. I'm always willing to make adjustments and changes. Like I say, these builds are always just blueprints, things that I've used in my game. If you find something that may be better, always feel free to leave a comment and let me know. Also, guys, I've said it on the channel plenty of times before, I do play other games. If there's any other game that you ever want to see gameplay of, and I may potentially have it, just leave a comment and I will try to upload content for it as well. So with that being said, I'm gonna finish fighting the rest of these. I'm gonna fight one more boss, the Sunken Witch, and then we will go over the build breakdown. On that boss fight, guys, I will use the Tormented Heart. After all, this is an explosive based build, so why not use it? I felt like the Tormented Heart works good in certain areas, certain locations, but ultimately when it comes to these builds, always use whichever works best for you and your gameplay. All right. Alright, so we're basically at the end of this boss fight, guys. Hope that was enough gameplay to let you see that this is a pretty good build. I really enjoy using it. But that being said, you know, the Sunken Witch can be kind of aggravating. You know, she does try to corner you a lot. But, and with the explosions, it will be putting you down on your back a lot as well. So, you know, you got to be kind of quick and agile when fighting her. So if she corner you, you know, she will be able to take you out pretty easily. Alright, so on this build, guys, Archon was the prime primarily so you can get that mod back quicker. You automatically generate 15 mod power per second. Casting mod actually doubles this value for 10 seconds, so you get up to 30 mod power regen whenever you're casting a mod. Alright, so I did use Chaos Gate, and what it basically does is conjures a 8.75 meter unstable zone which grants stacks of unbridled chaos and lasts 20 seconds. Allies gain 0.7% to all damage dealt and receive 0.3% damage taken whenever you get up to 50 stacks. So you basically get a 35% increase in bonus damage. And having any stacks grants 10% mod generation. Alright, your first trait is called Power Leak. Using the relic grants 100 mod power for both equipped mods and an additional 100 to the current mod that you are using. You get Spirit Within. This reduces mod power requirement per charge by 10%. Power Creep. After casting a mod, 10% of the mod power spent will be regenerated by all allies over 10 seconds. While it is active, allies will also gain 10% mod power generation. And you get Amplified. This basically increases mod damage by 50% and grants 10% mod critical chance. I did use the Summoner. Use whichever skill you prefer. I did use the Reaver and use the Flyers a little bit as well. Guys, I did forget if you make this Reaver explode, guys, it does do amazing damage as well. I kept forgetting to do that in my gameplay. I usually rely heavily on my guns, but I'll just try to remember that as well so you get more damage whenever you're fighting these bosses. The first skill is called Dominator. This grants a 35% increase to mod skill and explosive damage and 5 mod skill and explosive critical chance. Alright, you get Residue. This means that Aspire will leave a 3-meter R which heals 2.5 health per second and increases healing by 20%. Lasts for 10 seconds. Alright, you get Outrage. Sacrificing the minion grants 3% lifesteal for each minion sacrifice and increases movement speed by 15%. This also lasts for 10 seconds. And you get Insight. Using the relic grants minions 5% max health per second and increases their damage dealt by 15% and critical chance by 15%. And that lasts for 30 seconds. As always, guys, whatever armor you prefer. I did use this, but here's the Tormented Heart, guys. You apply Explosion whenever you use the relic and get a little bit of life steal as well, up to 20%, based off the damage that is dealt. And then use 10% elemental damage, 10% mod damage, and 20% mod skill and cast speed. Alright, and the other relic I was using some during my gameplay was the Shielded Heart. And as far as your shards, use the same shards that you used on the Tormented Heart. Ultimately, it's whatever works best for you in your gameplay. Alright, the Star Killer, one of the stars of the show, guys. This is an alien rifle that shoots high velocity rails which penetrate enemies and is equipped with a 2.5 magnification scope. Basically, that's pretty good whenever you're trying to snipe those enemies. But the main thing on it is called Gravity Core. It fires a highly compressed spear which creates a large gravity well on contact, pulling enemies in for 4 seconds. When the gravity well basically explodes, it deals 3,206 damage within 10 meters and adds 2,138 damage per enemy, and divide that by the total amount of enemies. So basically, guys, you're going to add that for every enemy that comes in, you're going to add that 2,138, but divide that by the grand total, and that'll be the actual damage that you will be doing. I did pair it with the Harmonizer Mutator. Attacks mods deal 20% additional mod damage and generate 25% for stole weapons. I did use the shovel to be able to get a little bit more ammo, and I did pair it with the Edge Lord to be able to use it quicker and get a little bit of lifesteal if I did have to use it. But in my gameplay, I didn't even use it, guys. And the Star Shot was also amazing as well. It fires a fast-moving projectile which explodes on contact. Explosions have no damage drop-off whatsoever. The main thing on it is called Big Bang. It funnels all current mod challenges into the next shot. Projectiles deal 452.4 direct damage and 598.7 explosive damage per charge consumed in a 6.25 meter radius. Explosions will also apply burning. Just amazing, guys. You do get the most damage whenever you let it build up all the stacks and shoot it at one time. But in these boss fights, a lot of times you may not have time to do that. I did pair it with a Feedback Mutator and to passively get mod regen, and whenever you're using it with the mod as well, you will generate 15% of base damage as mod regen as well. Alright, did use the Stoner Balance Ring. This increases all damage by 7%. All right, the burden of the socialist. This ring reduces ammo reserve by 20%, but you do get increase in mod and skill damage. I was mainly only using it for that mod damage by 15%. Wasn't really worrying about the skill damage so much. All right, the blasting cat ring. This increases explosive damage by 15%. Just amazing for any type of explosive build. And the burden of the destroyer, guys, you do lose ideal range by 35%, but it increases all damage by 15%. All right, and the detonation trigger was the amulet of choice, guys. Amazing amulet for any type of explosive build, but increases explosive damage by 25% and apply burning of 797.94 burning damage over 6.5 seconds. All right, flash caster comes automatically on the Archon, increases modern skill cast speed, regrowth, so you can get a health regen, comes automatically on the means class. Kinship, guys, that way you don't get any much damage done whenever those explosions are going off. Fortified, increase your armor effectiveness, 10 points in that. I did put 5 points in strong back, guys. That way I can reduce my armor, Carmison. That way I can still move in pretty good. Because this armor is a little heavier than what I normally wear, and you do need to be able to move pretty quickly when fighting these bosses. All right, got 4 points in swiftness, is increased movement speed. 3 points in infliction, allow that burn to last a little bit longer. I got 10 points in vigor, increase my health. 10 points in spirit to get my mods back quicker. 10 points in expertise to get skills back quicker. 10 points in bark skin, reduce damage by 10%. All right, I did put 5 points in amplitude, increase the AoE size and oral sizes by 25%. All right, Siphoner did put 5 points in there, get a little bit of life steal by 1.5%. Did put a little bit of points in Leech as well, get some more life steal. 2 points in footwork to be able to move around while aiming and shoot a little better, and 1 point in endurance. All right, guys, and your tonics, use whichever one you prefer. I do like using the dark side of tonic just because it gives you a little bit of everything. You got 6.66% increased health, stamina, and movement speed. Overall, I enjoy being able to move quickly, so that's why I like using this one a lot. Let's take a look at my weapon stats. I had critical damage of 50%, 25% bonus to everything damage, elemental damage of 10%, mod damage of 110%, 50% skill damage, and let's look at status effect duration was 30%. Life steal accuracy was 25%. Overall, user level traits work best for you. If you like the build, please remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your valuable time today. D Werewolf out.